Hey guys, Huzz here bringing you another video. This time it's of the 3.7 patch notes. Now other YouTubers have done their own versions of this, so if you want to go see a jungle version, FoxDropLoL I'd recommend, as well as saintvicious. He did a jungling and general one about what's happened to every champion. I'll do a little bit of a general one, but I will be mainly focusing on mid lane, only champions that will be mid lane. And nearing the end of this video as well, we'll be going over some item sets, what I'll be using them for, how to use them and that type of thing. So getting into it, if you want to watch the video, I recommend it. Obviously, this is the one made by Riot. I won't be playing it right now. But anyway, Akali, she's been slightly changed. It's actually pretty damn interesting. Akali can be played mid lane. She can be played top, and you do see her top maybe more than mid. But with this Twilight Shroud, has actually made her quite interesting for mid lane, as now it gives vision of any enemy or any opponent inside her Twilight Shroud, so you can place it over a wall and then use your R to jump to it. With the Shadow Dance also having a time reduction on it, it allows her to jump around even more. And yeah, I think this is pretty good changes on Akali. It would be really interesting to see what people can do with placing her shroud down, having vision of an opponent so they can just jump straight into them. Caitlyn, you do see her played a little bit in mid lane. I'm not going to go over a whole lot about bot lane, but I'm going to just focusing on it's a slight buff in her late game and it's a slight nerf in her early game. Having it as a percentage allows her to, with the other items that she'll be picking up, it just generally increases her attack speed the later in the game it goes. So don't think this Caitlyn's a nerf. It's just a little bit harder in lane. Obviously, her sieging will be a little bit less worse with not having the stacks to attack people, have that occasional crit when you're attacking a structure. Cassiopeia, now I really like Cassiopeia. She is one of my favourite mid laners, but unfortunately she did kind of drop off, seeing that everybody's just building health. It's a bit harder for her to poke people down, constantly, as people just base back by the time with the amount of health they have. But this Twin Fang now counts as a single target spell for the sake of items like Riley's Crystal Scepter. And one thing I want to note, that would have been really good if Muramana was still magic damage, as that would have been a single target. But unfortunately, Muramana has been changed to the AD. It might be still interesting to look into, but obviously not having any armor pen will probably not build Muramana on her. But as I said, it's pretty good for Riley's, having that extra slow on the E, and you can spam that E really hard. So yeah, pretty good change on Cassiopeia for mid lane with that item. Now Diana, a lot of changes to Diana, and a lot of people say it's needed. Now, I play Diana in mid lane. This season, I'm like 95% win rate or 90% win rate or something. Pretty high. She's one of my favourite champions. I really like building Zhonya's on her, jumping in straight into the enemy team, bringing them all back to me and then Zhonya's so I don't take any damage, waiting for my team to catch up. Now, the reasons why she's been changed is kind of to this reason. She is really, really strong. In lane, when she gets 6, she can pretty much kill anything. If she keeps landing some Qs, full combo, bam, they're dead. But let's look at the changes. So her blade has been reduced quite significantly into the later stages of the game. As you can see, early on, it hasn't really get changed. The earlier ranks does the same damage, but they're nearing, about... it's hard to say. About the 4th to 5th rank, it starts getting a bit less. So it's kind of needed, I feel, but I don't think that will kill Diana. I think we still will see Diana. So, and then the Pale Cascade, it's also been changed a little bit. That's actually been a bit higher early in the game. Literally, the first rank is a little bit higher, and then it starts going a little bit down. That's basically trying to put pressure on you to try and get the kill really, really quickly. The shield has also been reduced quite significantly, but now there is a second application of the shield that will allow you to get a second shield. I think it's if it gets destroyed or something along them lines. But yeah, I think she'll still be quite good. I think we'll still see her. She's just one of them champions that's really fun to play, and people play champions that they have fun with. Now Elise, you don't see Elise amazingly in mid lane. You see her more top and jungle, but she does go in mid lane a little bit. Now I will say she has been hurt in the jungle right now, and kind of top as well, with Spider Form not giving resistances, and that was one of the big points that why she could jungle, because she wasn't as squishy. But because you do mainly jungle in Spider Form as you get the regen with the Frenzy, and as you can see, the Frenzy actually has been buffed, so that might have been the counter, getting more regen in there because you don't have the resistances anymore. You might see Elise a little bit more in mid lane if people just generally want to play her, but still I think she's going to be generally a top and jungle player. Now, Jarvan, I actually do like playing Jarvan mid lane. I haven't played him mid in a little while, um, but his standard has been reduced by the vision by 150. It's quite significant. It's basically stopping him throwing it over a wall, looking if there's enemies around the area, and basically just engaging. That 150 range is quite significant. That's half a AD carries. Half an average AD carries range on an auto attack. So you can kind of figure that out. That's quite high. Karma, I'm not going to go a lot into Karma. Karma obviously got reworked. She didn't really do very good. Her win rate actually went down from the old Karma to the new Karma. That could be because more people are playing her and don't understand, or she's just not a good champion. But yeah, it's a little change to her inner flame and the mantra bonus. Misfortune, AD carry, I'm not going to go over that, as you could probably find a different YouTuber that's covering ADs. Mordekaiser, mid laner. I actually play Mordekaiser in 3v3s. We've got a really good team comp with him, but his recommended items have been updated. Now, I think that was needed, as from memory, his recommended items were as tank. Now, Mordekaiser gets tanky, but he's an AP carry. Don't be mistaken. He is like the farm master. Farm the mid lane, push the mid lane, go get the jungle creeps to the side of the lane, and hey ho, you're like 50 CS up your opponent. Nami support, I'm not going to go over that, as there'll be a support there. I think she's got another buff, so look out for Nami's now. She is a really annoying support right as it is right now. Nunu, I'm not going to go over this a whole lot, but I will say my jungler Galzuk is really, really happy about these changes. He'll be playing a Nunu in the jungle a lot more. Now, these have been, I'll just quickly say, these have been targeted as Nunu jungle, not Nunu support. So they're kind of trying to put him into that role of jungle now, not support, which is kind of cool. Quinn, she's been just a little bug fix, so that's not much to talk about. Rammus, taunt no longer targets minions, so that's pretty good if you're in the middle of a team fight, not targeting a minion anymore. Rumble, let's see, he's got a little nerf on his flame spitter. It's hard to say because Rumble's R got changed, but it didn't get nerfed. A lot of people mistook that change for a nerf where it wasn't. It does more damage over time, so you just have to really hit a good one, so it just goes on top of the whole enemy team. Now, you do see the occasional Rumble mid. I'd actually say you see him higher ELO in mid lane than lower, as quite a lot of people main Rumble, and they'll play him mid lane, they'll play him top lane, that type of thing. Now, as I said, his flame spreader got a little bit of a nerf. As well, his AP ratio went down and the actual damage went down, so that's quite a hefty nerf. And then the damage zone area bonus has been increased to 50 by 25, so that's actually pretty good. That means he'll be doing a little bit more AoE damage, that type of thing. The Electro Harpoon has also been nerfed, so they are actually hitting Rumble quite hard. They do think he's a little bit stronger than he should. Now, Syndra, as again, you guys know, she's one of my favourite champions. Now, I actually was surprised on a fact that I found yesterday. I was on LOL King looking at the charts of highest win rate, lowest win rate. Syndra's actually in the lowest win rate champions. Now, I do have a hunch this is because, yeah, she is a really fun champion to play, but she's actually quite hard to actually carry with and do things right, that type of thing. So I think quite a lot of people might play her when they don't fully understand her or just lose lane, that type of thing. But the scatter of the weak, improved detection of dark spears at longer ranges, so that's pretty good. It'll allow the max range of the E to actually see the ball and actually throw it out somewhere. So that will help her in lane or just generally in team fight. TF, big changes on TF. Now this is probably the biggest change for a mid laner we've seen in a while, and it's needed. I've played TF this season, not very successfully. I've done a few normal games that I've done really well with, sure, but in ranked I just haven't had very good games, and I'll put that on myself. I just haven't, I don't know, I'm not going to go into it, I just don't think I've just played well with him. Now, I really, really quickly want to say we will still see TF after these nerfs. Definitely we will see him, because TF, it's not his damage that makes TF what he is, it's his ultimate. Now, yes, sure, you can see Destiny's cooldown has been increased by 30 seconds on the first rank. That's okay. That basically stopping a TF going down bot lane with his ultimate, ganking, getting a kill, going back to base, going back to his mid lane, farming 1 or 2 creeps and then ganking again. That's stopping that. It's allowing, 30 more seconds for an enemy team just to recover, just to go, right, TF's ult might be now. You have to remember, at high ELOs, people actually count cooldowns, especially on an ult like TF or Karthus ult, that type of thing. Now, you'll see probably a slight build variation on TFs. Now, you might see TF starting to build Nashor's Tooth, Lichbane even earlier, that type of thing. Maybe you can choose Rageblade if you are really going for a split push TF, going for tower pressure. That might be an idea, as obviously his attack speed has been really increased. As you can see on Stack Deck, the bonus attack speed has been increased to the first, rate being 10% from 3%. That's a whole 7% increase. Then it raises to 15, 20, 25, 30 from 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So they at late game, they're doubling his attack speed. So that's huge for split pushing on a TF. The stack deck no longer grants cooldown reduction, but that's okay. The pick a card now, blue card now restores more mana. That's pretty good. Some TFs do struggle with their mana in lane, so that will actually help them quite often. So there's the TF updates. Quite a lot to say about him, but I still think, as I said, we'll still see him, especially in solo queue. We'll still see him banned. People may not ban him for the next couple of days, and they actually realise, oh wait, he's still good. So yeah, that's what I have to say about TF. Udyr, not going to say much about Udyr, as you know, FoxDrop or saintvicious will be covering that. Varus, really good AD carry. Just general changes. They've basically, all I'll say quickly, they've moved his damage from his E to his Q, because E is really easy to hit and Q is harder to hit. So that's basically what they've done to Varus. Warwick, they've changed him a little bit with his ultimate, making him channel time a bit less. So he's CCing the target, I think for the same amount, but he's CCing himself a bit less or something along them lines. Zack's been changed. A lot of Zack players will be really annoyed with this, as he's been put up top lane now, and I will say that he was broken top lane. I've played him, up there a few times against, diamond players, and I still won the lane as Zack, and I'm not going to boast that my Zack skills are good, because they're not amazing. And yeah, that base health regen is a lot less, and obviously all of his damage and that type of thing is less, but we'll still see him. His initiate into his ultimate, combined with something like an Orianna, you can't beat it. So we'll still see him in certain situations. Now, Zed, another one of these champions in mid lane that a lot of people have been talking about. Now, Zed, as you guys know, I really like to play him. And obviously you can play him in jungle and top lane, but I will focus on why I'm going to go in on mid lane. But this could probably apply to top lane as well. Or even jungle. His shuriken has been nerfed. Basically, it's... damage to the second target was basically what won him lanes in mid lane, as you always unsuspected threw it into a minion and then hit the your opponent champion on you, because they can't avoid it. It's a shuriken that goes through minions, and having that damage as well as CSing is always nice. Obviously, he's been nerfed a little bit. The attack damage ratio has gone down a little bit, and then the base damage has gone down as well, so that's a bit of a downer. Now, Living Shadow, the vision has been reduced a lot. Now, this is pretty big. It's been reduced from 600. Now, if you think of I always like to think of this because I think most people could understand it. A average AD carries attack range. Now, don't think of Caitlyn, don't think of Tristana late game. Think of a Graves, think of a Vayne, that type of thing. They have a range of 250 or so. Now, if you're changing a vision range from 600, that's more than double the vision of an AD carry, so that's huge. Or an AD carry's attack range, sorry. That's quite significant. I just want to put that in a size perspective for you. So his Living Shadow is still going to give quite decent with 700. That's still decent, but a whole, another 600 off that's going to be quite less. So Zed players will have to get used to not seeing as much as they were. Shadow Slash has also been increased by 1 second, which is a bit meh. But hey, Zed is very strong. Now, we'll say, a lot of people saying they might have gone too far with Zed. Now, obviously, I'm someone that is currently in Platinum 4, working my way to Platinum 3 every now and then. But my MMR, I'm placed with a lot of diamonds a lot of the time. And Zed is banned in 95% of all my ranked games. Even my 5v5 ranked games, even my 3v3 ranked games, he's banned. Now, I really like playing Zed, but when he's banned 90 or 95% of the games in the ELO I am, it kind of says, oh, okay, this champion's OP. Like, TF is banned most of the games. So it's kind of needed. We'll see him probably banned less, potentially, which will let players who just like playing Zed for who he is, what his kit is like, that will make them happier. But for a perspective that, I can stomp my lane with this champion every time, you're going to be a little bit worse for wear on that mark. Now Zyra, you can play her mid lane. I prefer her support. Just a few little changes for her display to actually give the proper ability power on her plants, as well as having the banner of command benefit for her minions in the damage. Item wise, there's not a whole lot of changes for mid lane. Mikhail's Crucible, you don't really build it as a mid laner. Shard of Troyes, you don't really build it as a mid laner. And there's just general, little changes. Caster minions attack damage has been reduced to 23 from 25 for the early game there. That's pretty good. If you're a champion that really wants to go for the early kills, level 2, that will help you, as minions do quite a lot of damage early on. It's surprising how much they do, so that will allow you to tank a little bit more minions. Now, that's pretty much all I have to say about these patch notes. So that's basically it. I recommend reading through them yourself. Now, one thing I'm happy about here, actually, is a Logitech G key and LED technology are now supported. I have a Logitech G Series keyboard, so that maybe I'll be able to make some macros, that type of thing. I've got macros on the left side of my keyboard, so maybe I can do something with that. And maybe if I find something interesting, I'll make a note of it and show you guys. So that's it. I'm going to be moving on to item sets and that type of thing. So thanks for watching this part of the video, and moving on right now. Hey guys, so we're on the second part of the video now, and this is the item sets. Now, for those who are not familiar, basically this has made a mod, or I think it's called a mod, for League of Legends that was really popular, that people could make their own custom item sets for certain champions, and yeah, let's put it into League of Legends. I'm really happy about this change, and you can see that basically I've made one so far, and it's called the Kha'Zix one, and now I can't actually click on this, but basically on the right of the screen now, this is what I have for my Kha'Zix one. My starting items, I have a health potion, mana potion, wards, and a fairy charm. This is pretty much the standard start I do on Kha'Zix. Occasionally, I still will go for the Elixir of Fortitude, but I'm really not doing that as much now on a Kha'Zix. Now, as you guys know, Kha'Zix is probably in my top 3 of my favourite champions in the game right now. And I also have a core slot. Now, my core slot is literally just upgrading the tier of the goddess. Longsword is in here for now. Those of you who might be, why is Longsword in your core items? Now, Longsword is a part of a lot of Kha'Zix's items. Black Cleaver, BF Sword, that type of thing. It's just an item that you build quite a lot. Hex Drinker potentially, and also I have boots in there. That's all I really need. Now, one thing I want to say about item sets, do not make an item set about 50 blocks down. Now, you can make, as you can see, you could create new block here. Do not make millions of blocks. A lot of the time, anyway, you're searching through the items anyway. Basically, all these should do is make your early stages of the game a bit quicker. That's all it is from me. Now, one thing I would probably recommend, and I did see it on Reddit, so that might be one thing to know. If you go into consumables, or just Sight Ward here, put Sight Ward if you're in a situation that you don't buy many wards, and people always tell you to buy wards, and you still find yourself don't. Make a custom item set for whatever champion you want, or whatever set you want, and put wards in every single block. It will remind you to keep buying wards. Now, we're going to make a new one together, just to show what it's kind of like. And what one should we do? We'll do a AD carry one. So create a new item set. We're going to call this AD carry. And yeah, it's very simple. Start on an AD carry. I'm going to start Doran's Blade. So that's quite simple. Now, one thing you could do, now a lot of people I think will do this, will put multiple differences that you can do. So some people will have Doran's Blade, you start 90% on time on AD carries, but some people start Longsword and they start some health potions. So right there's two options now. I can either start the Doran's really quickly, or I can start the Longsword, 2 health potions really quickly. So that's something you can do, something you can think of doing. Now, obviously, you can go in to this particular menu, and you can set literally a general item set, a specific champions. So if we go in specific, I believe it takes a bit of time, but I believe you'd be able to, as you can see, basically click every single AD carry. I'll just do this really quickly. Ezreal. I do recommend, taking a bit of time on this. So Varus. Let's see. Urgot. I will not put Urgot in this set. He's slightly different on how he works. You'd probably want to start the Fairy Charm on him. Tristana. Severe. Vayne. Won't be long now. This is basically what you can do. 9 champions so far in there. You could do this for AP carries. You could do this for top laners. Now, if you have a specific top set of junglers, you could do that. You don't start Machete because obviously Machete will still be the starting item for most of them. Draven. You could probably just I have seen the occasional Mumu start the parts for Philosopher's Stone. That would seem quite interesting. I think Dan Din was someone who did that. So just finishing up this. Sorry if this part's just a little bit boring. I just wanted to make sure I get them all. And I think that's all of them. I will go over this after. There's Misfortune. Kennen potentially, but I will probably play Kennen more as a top laner than a AD carry. And that'll do that for now. I might have missed one or two. Create new block. Now, obviously, you can change the block name to anything you want. So we'll call this First Base Back. Now, obviously, it can vary how much gold you have, of how much you have. But we're just going to put a couple of items there that potentially we can buy on our First Base Back. So we're going to put a Vamp Scepter there. We're also going to find a BF Sword. There it is. And boots. Put that there into boots. Now I'm going to put them ones. And I don't need to put the attack speed increased because I simply can click on that and then go into it. Now also I'm going to put some health potions there. And that's pretty much it. I don't think on First Base Back on most champions, there are occasionally champions that say Kogamort on Vayne. Sometimes you may want to go for attack speed earlier, but I tend not to. So I like going BF Sword first. Now, obviously, you do not have to stick to these. Now, that's one thing I really want to say quickly. Don't stick to them. They're just guidelines. They're just to make your life a little bit easier, a little bit quicker, so you're not, standing in the base as long. That's basically what they're there for. Now, I'll put another one, core items. Obviously, the core items do change on different ADs. So, search items will go for blood. Now, what's happened here? We've got something clicked, do we? Oh, I'm on consumable. There you go. So, bloodthirster. I'll put that as a core. Oh, not new block. My bad. Boots. Oh. Hang on. Boots. There we go. Berserker Greaves. Search items. Let's think. What is a core item for an AD carry? PD. So, just finding everything we need. Phantom Dancer, there it is. Pickaxe into the Last Whisper. Now, obviously, you can change this to whatever you want. This is generally the build I do. Sometimes I don't even build the PD, but just having it in there might have the option. Obviously, just having the core item there. So if I click on this item in the menus, it will show a Vamp Scepter and a BF Sword. So that just might make it quicker. Obviously, I do have it in the First Base Back also. Infinity. Now, I actually want to quickly see how many you can actually have. Is it only 6? That'll be interesting to see. Static. Now, right now, I'm just putting as many items as I can. Now, that might be the most you can put. So, Guardian's Angel we'll put there. No. Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I like that. So, it's not stopping you put more than 6. So, you could put like 8 items here that you build. That is all the items you would ever build on an AD carry, and you have them right there. You don't have to be searching through the menus in-game. So that I quite like that. Well done, Riot, on that point. Now, that's basically all I want to do for this video. Went over some patch notes. Did a bit of the item set. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share. It's always really appreciated. Ask any questions in the comments below. I'm always open to them. And yeah, keep playing League of Legends, and I will see you guys next time.